Hi, my name is Rachel and welcome to another plant channel. If you're new here, I'd love it if you'd take a second just to click subscribe. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. Today I want to talk to you guys about bugs, mainly beneficial insects and my experience with them. So I've just started using them and I realized when I was doing the research that there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and I kind of wanted to go over that and maybe make it easier if you decide to use them in your own collection. So this is not a sponsored video. This is all just my thoughts and my experiences, and I've only been using them now for about two weeks or so. So I got mine, I ordered them from a company called Nature's Good Guys, and they are on Instagram and they have a website. Now, the things I liked, they have extremely fast shipping. It is expensive because you're paying for, I think it's FedEx overnight. So I think shipping was somewhere like $25. But because it's a living creature, you want to get it delivered to you live. That's the reason that it has to be overnight shipped. But super fast shipping, and the company is really responsive. So the first order I placed, I actually did it twice. The first order I placed, I wasn't sure what it was supposed to look like or if I was supposed to be able to see anything, so I DM'd them on Instagram and they responded within an hour to explain the whole thing to me, and they have no idea that I'm going to be doing a video or anything, so they just were really quick to respond to me, so I felt really good about that. Okay, so let me tell you real quick why I wanted to use them. I have one plant in particular, Calathea or Gapertia setosa. And that plant, no matter what I do, always seems to have spider mites. And when you have a large collection, pests are a normal part of owning plants. But this one, no matter what I did, it wasn't making a dent. It wasn't like they were declining in numbers. It was just the same week after week. And I have done the Captain Jacks. I've done just rinsing it off with water. I've done insecticidal soap. My last attempt at this type of pest removal, I actually filled my bathtub up with a couple inches of water and made a solution of water, and then I poured some insecticidal soap. I actually submerged all the plant leaves in and kind of went over the backs of everything with a paintbrush to kind of get into the leaf veins. So that was the last thing I had tried, and it's important that you don't use any sprays like neem or Captain Jacks or any of those like right before you're going to use the beneficials, because they will kill them too. So I did that, and then I waited a bit, and then I was like, I'm going to just go ahead, order the beneficials and see if it makes a difference. So I have some graphics here that I'm going to share with you. I'll pop them up on the screen, and I've also got little copies in my hand, so I'll be looking down to kind of go over it. This first one I'm going to show you is just the back of that pamphlet I got, and this is just an overall view. So it's going to show you, you'll see the good bugs versus the bad bugs, and this is if you are looking for beneficials to fight other problems. Specifically in this video, I'm going to share my experiences with spider mites and thrips, because those were the two I was trying to fight. But if you're looking for something else, this little graphic, if you want to screenshot it or pause, it can tell you what will help you. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to share with you the pages that pertained to me and why I chose the certain pests I did. Because at first I started out on Amazon and there wasn't a whole lot of information. And then I found out about this company and went to their website, and this little booklet and graphics make it so much easier. So I put this up on the screen now. And this page I'm showing you is the page that is talking specifically about spider mite control. And there's two ways you can get these bugs. You can get a sachet, and that will be about, it says it will hatch over a 4-week period, so you'll have about a month or so of protection. And then they also sell them shipped in a bottle. Now in the bottle, they're in some kind of a vermiculite or corn husk material. I'm not 100% sure, but they come just in a bottle like that. So you can see that there are a couple of well, 4 different mites that you can use to fight spider mites. So I spent a ton of time researching and figuring out which would be best, and I went with the Amblysius cucumeris. And the reason I chose them is because it says that it fights all kinds of spider mites, but it also helps against thrips. And then also the temperature range and the humidity, I felt like it was something that I could maybe get near what they needed. And so it says on that graphic, you hang 1 sachet every 3 feet monthly. So I ordered that first, and I'm going to show you what they look like. They come like this. They're all sealed together. I ordered a set of 10, and they just come in these little envelopes, and you can see that they are labeled with what bug they are. And then this part here, you can hang it either just on a plant branch, or I made like little wire stakes for the plants that couldn't support them. And you just hang it like this. That's all you do. There's like little holes in here that they will find their way out and naturally hunt what they need to. So this was my first go with it, and these are the ones that I contacted the company about because I didn't notice any movement. So I was kind of worried that did they die because it was cold, even though it was like overnighted. And so what the deal is with these is these are shipped as eggs ready to hatch. So within 3 days to a period of like 3 or 4 weeks, they'll hatch and do what they're supposed to. And since then I have seen at times some mites crawling on this. I'm trying to see if I can show you any now, but I don't see any crawling right now. Okay, so this is the first thing I did. I went ahead, I hung these on the plant, the mainly affected plant. I put it on some of my other calatheas that I've been treating randomly for spider mites. And then in this time period that I was doing all this spider mite stuff, I found thrips. And I found those upstairs in my collection. I keep the plants that are going to go out on the porch upstairs in a grow shelf in the off season. So thankfully it wasn't a huge outbreak. I've mainly maybe seen like 10 or 15 of them, which is enough to panic me. So anything I see, I kill on contact, but then I also hung these in the plants. And I haven't seen any now in at least a couple days. So fingers crossed, those are doing the job. And then after that, when I saw that the thrips were like disappearing, I got so excited that I was like, you know what, I'm going to get a mix that is just targeting spider mites. And that's when I went ahead and tried the ones in the bottle. So the way that they come is you get a little plastic bottle like this, and it had a label, but when I opened it, it peeled off. So you get a bottle like this, and then you can choose to put it directly on the plant. But because I didn't want to put it all over the leaves, and I will talk about that more in a second, but I didn't want to get it all over the leaves. So I went ahead and got the envelopes with it. And you can get the envelopes, you just kind of tap a little bit out gently into each envelope, and you can see them, whatever medium they come in, they will just find their way out and get to work. And that is a mixture of bugs that are targeting spider mites, a special blend they call it. So it's got a bunch of different ones that will work. So that is what I did for that. Now if you didn't want to hang these sachets, I'll put another little graphic up here. I'm the graphic queen today. So anyways, this graphic that you're going to see now just shows you basically how to do it if you don't want to use these little envelopes. So you're just going to release them in the morning or the night is the best time, and they would like you to do it when your grow lights are off. It's also really important that you do it within 24 hours of getting them because you want to get them out on the plants. You don't want them to stay sealed up and die. So basically you do what you can to get rid of the spider mites on your plant first, you know, whether it's spraying it off or knocking them down, but do not use a pesticide or an insecticidal soap. Then you're going to lightly mist your leaves and sprinkle the little vial out onto the plant. And once you do this, you also leave this bottle just sitting on the plant because there'll still be some stuck in here and they'll crawl out over the next couple of days. And that's if you don't want to go ahead and use the sachets, but I didn't want my plants to look all dusty and dirty, so I chose to divide mine up into little pouches. And the bottle this size I think was 1,000 mites, and I ended up, I think I did like 6 or 7 sachets out of it, and I could have spread it out further if I wanted, I think, but I felt like that was good for me. And real quickly, I told you about the spider mites. I'm just going to put up another graphic here, and this one is for the thrips, and this will kind of give you an idea why the first sachets that I went with are what I chose. For thrips, they have 2 recommended bugs that can control that, and that's the pirate bug and the Amblysius cucumeris. Now the Amblysius one is the one I went with, which was the sachets that I showed you here, these little guys, because these will go for spider mites and thrips. The pirate bug I was about to order, but then I realized that they are visible to the eye, like you're gonna see them crawling around. So I was thinking that if they're larger, do they hurt? So then I started Googling, and you get mixed results. Somebody said that they have a surprisingly painful bite for their size. So I was thinking, I don't want to find out. I don't want my dog to find out. So I went with the Amblysius cucumeris, and I've had no issues. I don't know about the spider mites. They're not completely gone yet, but it didn't look bad. The leaves don't have any more damage. So I think that they're actually doing their job. And as for working on the thrips, I feel like they've done a really good job on that. So I hope this maybe made it easier, because I know it was really confusing when I first started researching and trying to figure out what would work for me and what people would recommend. So I hope that this maybe helped. And if you have a spider mite / thrips problem, those were the 2 that I went with, and I am seeing pretty good results. And I just feel like I kind of wanted to see if I could do it with these bugs, as opposed to having to spray my plants down at least weekly, if not more often. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're going to try these out, or if you have any that you've tried that you recommend, and I will see you in the next one.